Hello and welcome to today's ASMR tarot reading. My name is Jessica of Northern Atlas. Today is August 12th, 2024, and this is a collective reading for the week ahead. When I read tarot cards, I really like to set the scene and create a space where I can relax, I can feel comfortable, and I can bring out all of the resources, all of the spiritual, mystical, and natural elements that I have at my disposal. And I really love setting up an altar for really any tarot reading that I'm doing, whether it's personal, collective, or for a client. I really like to draw from nature. Over the years, I have gathered and collected different specimens that I have kept and organized. So today I'm using a small pine cone. I'm also using a quill from a porcupine. And finally, I am using a recently acquired shell that is from Lake Huron. And I went there recently with my husband and some friends. I love to add the element of earth. I'm a very earthy person, so I really love adding crystals and stones, different rocks that I have collected either myself or purchased or been gifted. And I really love to create different mosaics with both tumbled stones, but also I really love things that are miniature. So today's reading is going to include some rainbow crystal, moonstone crystal, and I really love just adding elements of these beautiful stones to the palette that I'm going to be drawing my cards from. There's really no right way or wrong way to do this. I really enjoy the planning that can take place, but to me, it's really more about what's intuitive, what's calling to me, what is it that I want to see and celebrate and draw resources from here on my table. That's why I always like to add a specimen like an insect in a jar, something that has died of natural causes, and then I get into the actual cards themselves. I really don't like to rush into the cards. I like to set a scene, create an environment that is designed for them and for the reading and for the wisdom and invitation that hopefully they will help me and help us to get some clarity, find a focal point, and give us some hope, as well as potentially some words of warning in terms of what we might see coming up this week. Every time I shuffle, I like to create, cutting the deck 3 times and into 3 different sections. You can do this in many different types of shuffling, and I like to utilize really anything that makes it feel like my hands are moving and connecting with the cards. I always like to knock 3 times. Now let's get into this week's reading. Our first card is the 6 of Wands. This represents victory, represents valor. Take a moment at the start of this week to really look around your kingdom and look at what's going right in your life. Next, midweek, we've got the Page of Wands. This card is reminding us that it's really important to reflect on and make use of the resources that we have available. And finally, end of the week, we've got Eight of Swords. This is a card that is representative of isolation. As you can see, the figure on the card has a blindfold. She is clutching onto her resources and she feels quite alone. So let's take a moment and see how these stories weave together. The first card is asking you, where is your confidence? Where does it come from and how do you recognize it? The second card asks us, where is our creativity? How do we find it? How do we care for it? And finally, the last card, how do we feel content even when we feel isolated? Who can we reach out to?